Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to News Today. We are coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We're on DTT because we're free to. We're on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. We are a home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. This afternoon, police justifies arrest of Accra FM presenter Boakye Boakye, explaining he made false statements against some individuals. We have details shortly. Also, some residents of Kumasi say they are prepared to join in any street protest against the government's introduction of Elevy.
Elevy demonstration
I support the demonstration because the government is not ready to do anything about the Elevy.
Plus, Majority Leader Oseche Mensah says the controversial Elevy Bill will no longer be withdrawn next week as advertised earlier. We'll bring you details from Parliament shortly. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. We're also streaming live on YouTube and all our social media handles at Joy News on TV. Tweet at us with the hashtag News Today. My personal handle is at Danana Aisha. My Instagram handle, Aisha Joy News, and YouTube, Aisha-TV. Please stay for us. Start with the Ghana Police Service that has announced the arrest of a radio presenter, Boakye Boakye of Accra FM. The Accra Regional Police Command says they picked him up in connection with an alleged case of publication of false news and offensive conduct. The police artist's arrest became necessary after he turned down several invitations from the police to him and others involved in the case to assist with investigations. Court correspondent Akable is on this beat.
Broadcaster Boakye Boakye, we understand, is being held at the Accra Central Police Station. It's not clear at this stage whether charges have been leveled or what exactly he's been accused of. But from what we have picked up from a few of his colleagues, he was picked up shortly after ending his political show on the Accra-based radio station. We understand he was taken initially to the Nima police station where he spent the night. Then early on Friday morning, he was moved over here to the Accra Central Police Station. He's been specifically held at the Striking Force Division, where the charge office specifically is where he's being kept. A few of his colleagues who spent the night at the Nima police station are also at the Central Police Station here to monitor proceedings. We understand from our sources within the police that a statement may be issued in the course of the day, either at the regional level or at the national police with regards to the events leading to this particular incident. And this has happened at a time in a space of 7 days where we have seen first a journalist of Power FM being sentenced to spend 14 days in jail by a court here in Accra. Again, we've also seen the executive director of Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability, ASEPA, also being charged for publication of false news. These are isolated and unconnected events, but they will definitely form the base of a lot of the discussions that will take place in the coming hours. For joining us from the Accra Central Police Station, Joseph Akable reporting.
Latest information indicates Boakye Boakye has been sent to court. The question remains, are journalists being targeted or they themselves are being irresponsible? Before we hear from the Executive Director of Media Foundation for West Africa on this, there's a latest statement released by the police, and on that arrest. One, the Accra Regional Police Command on February 10 arrested Boakye Boakye, a presenter with Accra FM, for failing to honor police invitation following a case of publication of false news report against him. And secondly, police report indicates the suspect on January 11, while hosting the Citizen Show on Accra FM together with 3 others, allegedly made several statements against some individuals. Police investigated the said statements and found them to be false. The suspect and others involved in the case were invited to assist the police with the investigation on several occasions, but they failed to honor the invitation. The suspect will be put before court today. Meanwhile, efforts are being made to arrest the other 3 suspects. Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Suleiman Ibrahim, has been trying to answer the question of whether journalists are being targeted or they themselves are being irresponsible.
We are seeing evidence of perhaps both. Indeed, any observer of the media landscape cannot but conclude that increasingly we are seeing a lot of excesses, reckless, unprofessional conduct by persons who either appear on platforms or are hosts of media programs, and this is particularly on radio and television. And I think it is simply an amplification of the kind of partisanship that we have in our country. And in most instances, it is not what I would call pure journalism, but essentially political advocacy on radio or on television by certain partisan actors. And that's where we see a lot of the excesses happening. So the first part of the question, yes, there's evidence to that in terms of the recklessness. But of course, there are other media organizations and journalists who are also discharging their responsibilities so professionally. Even as we may say, being human beings, once in a while, there may be some slips here or there. But in terms of the targeting, I say also there is some evidence of that because over the period, we've seen quite a number of incidents that are certainly unjustifiable by persons who are state actors, and in this case, national security officials. We've seen the incident in Asankragwa where Taburi was brutalized to almost death. Again, the other problem is the non-functioning or ineffectiveness of the National Media Commission. So there is some semblance of targeting. We saw the NCA shut down in a politically motivated way a number of radio stations that were aligned to the opposition. We see the same conduct being exhibited on a number of platforms, and yet nothing happens to persons on those platforms who perpetrate the same kinds of unprofessional conduct and recklessness. And so to that extent, one cannot but conclude that there is some evidence or some semblance of some media organizations or some persons being targeted.
How do you want this resolved on the part of the journalists and also on the part of state agencies?
Well, I think that we have to look at it from multiple dimensions. One, the National Communications Authority, that is the body that issues frequencies to media organizations. I don't know the basis on which, for a country of 30 million people, we currently have over, close to 800 radio stations. And in terms of frequencies that have been issued, I believe it is even more than that. What are the credentials and the evidence that people submit to prove that they have the capacity to be able to operate media organizations? But I think that the government has to also tone down, because increasingly we are seeing a government that is becoming quite oppressive.
We can now speak with Martin Kpebu, who is a constitutional lawyer, on what the law says on the publication of false news and offensive conduct. Counsel, there are those who feel it should have been a civil case rather than one involving the state. What's the law with regards to publication of false news and offensive conduct?
Yeah, so Aisha, yes, we have the law directly on this matter. That's a criminal aspect. You see, earlier on you referred to the civil one. Yeah, the criminal one is section 208, the popular causing fear and alarm. Yes, or fear and panic. By the law, fear and alarm. Yeah, so it says that where a person is not restricted to journalists, any person. So where a person produces, okay, or reproduces a statement which is false, okay, in a manner that causes fear and alarm, and that statement is false, then that person has committed an offense, a misdemeanor. That is to say, when we say a misdemeanor, a punishment is between a fine and up to a maximum of 3 years imprisonment, you say. So the crux of it is that the statement is being made, and also essentially is communicated in a way that is to cause fear and alarm. So it's not just the writing. How was it done? Was it done in a way to cause fear and alarm? If it is, then you're in the realm of the crime. But as you stated earlier on, you see some are saying they should have looked at the civil option. Yes, I thought that was the whole idea behind the repeal of the criminal libel law. You see, so I thought that in that spirit, the sitting president led the crusade for the repeal of the law. So I thought within the spirit of the repeal of the criminal libel law, we'll be looking to deal with these matters in the civil realm, because with 208 still operating, then the repeal of the criminal libel law hasn't done much, because it's still the value is the same. You've repealed one, but left another one, which is causing the same effect. So the value is the same, whether you've repealed or not repealed. So we should be looking at the civil one, because, and you see, as Suleimana just referred to, it appears the state agencies are becoming overbearing. Yes, it's becoming overbearing, because, people in their efforts to hold government accountable, especially journalists, it's a constitutional duty under Article 162 Clause 5, right? That journalists hold the government accountable. Okay. In doing that, there are bound to be excesses. It's not only in our democracy. All over the world, you check. In trying to hold government accountable, journalists are bound to make mistakes, because we are all fallible. So sometimes we should look at it in that context and see if we can use the civil means of addressing this. Maybe refer to the National Media Commission, even. So when we say the civil means, even apart from going to court, under the Constitution, there's a National Media Commission where some of these conducts can be reported to them. I know in the past, the Media Commission has sanctioned journalists, caused them to retract stories, apologize, and the rest. Okay, because Aisha, most especially between last week and this week, within a period of 2 weeks, they are over 6. You remember last week, he started with Captain Smart, who was granted bail before 11 a.m. Yet the national security insisted, because they wanted him to sleep in the cells, they refused to go check the abode of the sureties early enough. So they kept delaying and delaying. Like we say in Ghanaian parlance, last they played delayed tactics. So they succeeded in getting him to sleep in custody. Okay. Mr. Thompson is in custody. I don't know if as of the last 2 hours he's been released, but he's in custody over a story that, yes, it may be false, but you're going to court. He's not getting this. The number of journalists that have suffered is quite high. It's not, and Mr. Thompson is in the media space. It's sending bad signals, very bad signals.
I'm grateful for your time. Martin Kpebu is a lawyer, a constitutional lawyer, and he's been explaining the law behind publishing false information. Now to Kumasi, some residents and the heartbeats of the ruling MPP say they are prepared to join in any street protests against the government's introduction of e-levy or the electronic transaction. The e-levy policy has received public rejection. Some citizens hit the streets of Accra to register their discontent. Emmanuel Bright Kweku gauged the mood of Kumasi residents on interests to join such demonstrations.
Demonstration about Mekobi. If you say, "Adi are buying no, Kufuado are buying no, or more yeno,"
I will join the protest. We simply do not understand this government. The protest is for the entire country, so I will join. I support the demonstration because the government is not ready to do anything about the e-levy. I don't think I will join. It's too risky.
Nembo Elevy ni de me omo ya adwene say is too harsh.
Papa 90 aye 90 biampo yentua ho tax emfa so ma so magana. The problem is
introducing new taxes in this country won't help. The problem is the judicious use of these monies.
Demonstration in there's a banner that but one thing is we demonstrate 10,000 then pay for the money so munti.
From Kumasi to Parliament, the Majority Leader Seche Mensah says the controversial Elevy will no longer be withdrawn next week as advertised earlier. The Swami MP had indicated to the House that the Finance Minister will from next week Tuesday withdraw the bill and table before the House a revised bill for consideration. But Mr. Seche Mensah says the Minister has served notice of his inability to do so next week. This was captured in the business statement for next week. Kwesi Parker Wilson is our man in Parliament. He joins us now for more. Parker, what's the business captured on the other paper for today?
So, Aisha, this is the business statement for next week. And it is clear that the finance minister is not ready or will not be ready to present before the House the Elevy Bill or a revised one for consideration. Now, the explanation that has been given is that he is not ready. As to why he's not ready, we don't know yet, but we know that a new date will be communicated to the House. And this has raised a number of concerns among the minority caucus in Parliament over the uncertainties of the controversial Elevy Bill, which will be debated and subsequently voted upon. I have with me the former Deputy Roads Minister here, briefly, Isaac Ejemensah, is also the Wasa East MP. Honourable, a quick one. A new date, we are told, will be communicated to you on when the House would debate the Elevy. What do you make of this, sir?
So I think the uncertainty is much more heightened by the fact that we don't even know when it's going to happen, and the indication is given that in the next week it's not going to happen, and we don't even know when that is going to happen. But you see, it is also critical to note that yesterday's massive demonstration against the Elevy probably might inform the minister that he's not available next week. But you see, we are all put in suspense.
Why do you think that the demonstration may have influenced the minister's inability to present the bill next week?
The understanding was that something was going to happen next week. And for us to be told that next week nothing is going to happen because the minister is not available, he's not ready, tells you that something is happening. We are aware of the various engagement, regional engagement and so that has not been going on well. And for yesterday's massive demonstration against, the Elevy, and for the minister to come in to say he's not available, he's not ready next week, tells you that something is wrong. The most important thing for the minister to do is to withdraw it and just kaput it and get it off, because people, Ghanaians, are dissatisfied with the whole issue of Elevy.
And finally, for me, we know, and there's a confirmation that the revised bill, we don't know when it's going to come to Parliament, but when it's presented before the House, will be 1.5% and not 1.75%. Will the NDC soften its stance as far as the new rate is concerned?
No, the opposition has been zero. And you see, even from the scratch where people thought that the minister was going to revise his position, he did not. Now, following the various engagements, you got to know that indeed the 1.75 is untenable. And therefore, if he is coming in 1.75, 1.5, our position is and will always be 0 and 0 and 0. So we are waiting for the bill to be brought in for us to vote on them. Numbers are critical. And so we are ready, the 137 NDC, we are ready to vote against the Elevy. So it's their burden.
Right. Sure. Thank you very much, Honorable Isaac Ejemensah. He's the former Deputy Road Minister, and he's saying that the Elevy indeed is the burden of the government. And so right now, we don't know when it is coming, but the NDC is certain that whether 1.5 or 1%, they will still resist the Elevy and vote against the Elevy. But today we know that a few ministers have been scheduled to appear before the House to answer some questions. And again, from next week, we know that the Minister for Communications, the Minister for Roads and Highways, Minister for Health, Minister for Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources will be summoned before the House to answer some critical questions from members of Parliament.
Boakye Wilson is our man in Parliament. We'll take you there again and get updates of what has been happening in the House in our subsequent bulletins. Right now, Chief Executive Officer of the Mental Health Authority, Professor Boakye Boakye, has lamented delays in releasing funds to his authority. He revealed that his outfit is yet to receive its first quarter financial allocation to enable it to undertake its activities, a situation he described as disruptive to the delivery of quality service. And he is also calling for collaboration between government and corporate bodies to improve mental health delivery in the country. Mausi Nomon's report.
Leadership of the Mental Health Authority says the outfit is underfunded and struggling to deliver quality mental health. According to Chief Executive Officer of the Mental Health Authority, Professor Boakye Boakye, a collaborative effort between government and the private sector is needed to bridge the gap in funding.
We have not had our first quarter allocation for funding. So what we are using now is the reserve of our last quarter's funding. And so again, that becomes a challenge. I must admit very quickly that in the last few years, funding has been better than previously, no doubt about it. But we still haven't got to the point where you can say we're okay. So we need more funding.
He urged corporate institutions and other stakeholders to get on board to provide financial support for his outfit.
We also want the public to understand that mental health care is a shared concern. It should be everybody's business. So you should not wait only for the government to provide what they can. The public should come in. I must tell you, for instance, in the next few days we'll have Valentine's Day. We went to corporate organizations for them to support us to show love to our patients, like chocolate. You can't believe that they didn't mind us. Meanwhile, if you had said, please give us chocolate to give to beauty pageant or football or something, they would have come in. So the understanding that we should own mental health care is still not there. Organizations will tell you that mental health is not my area, it's not my priority. So that is still a challenge.
The authority hopes issues of mental health will be taken more seriously in the future. Mausi Numon's report for Joy News.
Pupils of Bremen DA Basic School are not just excited about moving into a modern and safer classroom block, but also that the new school will attract new pupils who would have been otherwise enrolled in other schools in neighboring communities. Speaking to MFA Tiamwa earlier about their anxiety to move into the new building, some of the pupils say the structure will for the first time give them peace of mind to learn. Details in the following report.
The new school building being constructed under the Multimedia Group's classroom project, when completed, will be roomier, have supporting academic facilities, and according to the pupils, will prevent some parents from sending their children to schools in neighboring communities because of the dangerous nature of the existing structure.
I'm very happy now. I hope this block will be very nice, and some of the people in my village are transferring their children to some of the private school here. Maybe when they saw that this building is very nice, they will transfer their children to here too. I only wish for them to help us to finish this school early because I really want to sit in this school to learn.
Say, me we say ICT lab or dine we mo. Your science laboratory or dine we mo. You be musua. You be feel comfortable. We say the classes in Adia. You be feel well.
This school block, I'm so excited and happy to sit in it. All my friends want to sit in it.
The 3-unit classroom block is 50% complete. Over 300 children will be moved into the new structure on completion. The current structure is very weak and unsafe for academic work. The progress of work is giving hope to the dreams of these children and the entire community. Project supervisor and hydroform expert Samuel Kofi Agbenyega gives further detail on the components of the structure.
It's going to be a beautiful classic hydroform structure, which is fireproof, earthquake resistant, and the kids will be comfortable because the rooms are very spacious. We had to stick strictly to the GES standard. We gave them 3 big classrooms, and then we gave them a library stroke, ICT, and then a head teacher's office, and then a staff common room. So these are the units in the whole building.
The classroom projects brought to you kind courtesy the Star Ghana Foundation with funding from the Dutch Foreign Affairs Ministry. It is supported by the Israeli Embassy, Forestry Commission, the planned city extension project, DBS roofing sheets, and you, our cherished audiences. The classroom project, promoting social justice through philanthropy.
You can send your donations to MTN Momo number 0593-038832, 0593-038832 to support the classroom project. Now, commuters and boat owners have hailed the government's 3-stamp removal program, which they say has improved the safety of transportation on the Oti River. The dangerous 3 stamps made transportation across the region a hazardous endeavor as several lives were lost. The Ghana Maritime Authority initiated a program in 2020 to clear all 3 stamps in the river, which is the only source of transportation for residents in Oti, Northern and the Volta regions. My colleague Ohemen Teria took a trip to Dambai and has filed the following report.
Traveling on small boats on the Oti River is considered one of the high-risk adventures. Small boats and canoes are often overloaded with passengers with no life jackets for commuters, as riders meander their way through waters filled with several 3 stamps.
We are traveling from Dodoekope to Dambai on the Oti River. This is a wooden boat. Concerns have been raised about security of passengers.
Who is reading the safety instructions? Where are the life jackets?
This US-based philanthropist, Fred Osei-Yeboah, runs several projects in the Pandai district of the Northern region. His activities require him to cross the Oti River with either ferry or canoe.
Even the ferry doesn't have a life jacket, let alone the canoe. So for our safety, we prefer traveling on the ferry than on the canoe.
Boat disasters and deaths until now used to be a common occurrence for residents in the Oti, Northern and Volta regions, as the Oti River became the only means of transportation. In November last year, 7 students of the St. Charles Liwanga Junior High School in the Saboba district of the Northern region died after one of the 2 canoes they were cruising in capsized in the Oti River. Also, the body of a child was retrieved by rescuers from the Oti River following a boat accident in the Kratchi West district in 2020. Commuters and boat owners say stories like these and many others were common until government introduced the 3-stamp removing program. Cheki Kwesi is a boat owner and the chairman of the local boat owners association in Dambai. Cheki owns a number of canoes under the AY Boats franchise. He says the 3-stamp removing program has reduced boat accidents on the river as safety transportation is assured for both operators and the traveling public. He wants the exercise extended to Kabiti. Yike Bechu.
But the same na juni yejma. O bit me free Accra. Yi ura Kratchi semi bow. Enti boat for me sra mo ntwe me. E say na juni kwa na manfo na juni sene awiano enti aboaye. E say amboya na me boa. O mo tutu nduan di aboaye.
Some patrons, including this prison officer, have hailed the exercise.
Formerly, accident on this lake was frequent, especially concerning the boats. But after removing the tree stump, if it's not about rainstorm, you don't normally hear of boats capsizing. Now the safety is better.
Today being my third time of using the boat. For the first outway is this. That's let me join it always.
Whilst commending the government for the gesture, there's also an appeal to President Akufo-Addo to fulfill a promise to build a bridge on the Oti River.
Last December, being the tour of the President, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, he promised the people of Oti region that he's going to construct a bridge on it, and we have not even seen any kind of development going on.
From Dambai in the Oti region for Joy News, Ohimi Ntiria reporting.
It's a few days to Valentine's Day when you get to show love, but how do you do so? In our maiden episode of Joy Business, you'll find out more. We'll take a break. There's more shortly.
Hello, welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. It's a few days to Valentine's Day when you get to show love. But how do you do so? In the maiden edition of Joy Business Shopping, Beverly Broom has been taking us through the prices of some items you can buy for your loved ones to mark the day.
If you wanna be my Romeo, see my parents, be my darling, I'll be your Juliet.
So it's a season of love. It's a season where people show affection to people close to their hearts. So this Valentine's season, what are you doing for your loved one? What are you getting for them? And do you know how much that gift will cost? Well, today on Shopping List, we are here at the Makolo Market in a very beautiful shop to help you get the perfect gift for your loved one. Let's go shopping. I have a teddy bear on my list. I have a rose flower. I have a mug. I have a rose towel. I have a hamper. I have a lingerie. Which one of these items on my list do you have here in your shop? Just take me through them and how much they cost. Where do we start from? Okay.
Like mug with wristwatch and then wallet. This one costs 50 cedis. We have mug with rose. This rose is soap, liquid soap. It's 35 cedis. And we have double mug, 50 cedis.
This is mug, love watch, and it's just 40 cedis. Affordable. And then we have champion teddy. You know, here we have President Teddy, Minister Teddy, a Peace Ambassador Teddy, Judge Teddy. We have a teddy that is a swimmer, a laughing teddy, but the most dangerous teddy is the gossiping one. It gossips. And this one is 1-1. This is the pasta teddy. And then we have the flower soaps. They are all flower soaps, beautifully packaged. Flower soaps with towels. You know, we have towel ice creams and everything. You know, they are 25. This is 10 cedis.
So this is a rose soup. You put them in the jacuzzi and then they lather. So this Valentine's Day, you can get these ones for your loved ones.
And how much is it? How much is it?
This is 45 cedis.
So tell me about the hampers.
This is this is actually 140 cedis. It comes with a wine, it comes with a rose flower and a hair massager. We've got 650, we've got 570 and then 1,000. And this chocolate I recommend for everybody. Get this for your loved one and it will never end in tears.
So that was Sabina from Janelle's gift shop. She has taken us through all the beautiful gifts that we can get for our loved ones on Valentine's Day. Ladies, we are done with the handkerchiefs and the singlets and the boxer shorts. We are doing some other romantic gift this Valentine's Day. I hope we've been able to help you with the perfect budget when stepping out of your home to shop for that special person. For Joy Business, I am Beverly Broom.
Julia, we'll give you my heart forever. I'll be your Julia. I'll be your Julia.
Well, that was romantic. Let's turn to other stories for you. The General Manager for Terminal and Transmission of Bost at Boakye in the Savannah region, Josiah Atakobna, has raised concerns about the low patronage of fuel by tanker operators in the catchment area. This is despite full stock. Here's more in this report.
Mr. Josiah Atakobna raised the concern of patronage when the National Petroleum Authority Chief Executive Dr. Mustafa Hamid and his team paid a working visit to the facility in Boakye. He said even though in the last 2 years they have done some works to expand production, there has been low patronage at the facility.
Last year we were able to do about 8.8 million liters of product meant for export. It's about 9 million. So yes, so that is what we did. And the issue that confronts us here is underutilization. As we speak, the tanks are almost full, but then we see BRVs move all the way from the north, bypass Boakye Depot, go to the south to go and pick product, and I mean the private terminals. And so we would request of your assistance to enable this terminal become vibrant once again.
The Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority, Dr. Mustafa Hamid, on his part, appealed to executive of the Tanker Drivers Association to help fight tampering of seals on tankers. The Vice Chairman of the Tanker Drivers Association, Nasiru Mohammed, appealed to the CEO to help boost activities at the Boakye Depot to increase their business. He also called for a dialogue on the electronic seal.
And that's business for now. More coming up on the marketplace at the top of the hour. Muftau is up next with sports.
Let's do sports now and join news today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. Former president of the Ghana Football Association, Kwesi Nyantechi, has advised stopgap Black Stars coach Otto Addo to select players on the basis of demonstrable merit for the next month's two-legged playoff tie against Nigeria. The former FIFA Council member believes that Ghana has got a quality to qualify to the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar and has backed Otto Addo to make history by reaching the Mundial.
We've just considered a new technical team and a new management committee. If each and every one of us was asked to suggest who should be on the technical team or the management team, I'm sure we'll have different people be on it. But the people who have the power, the prerogative to do the appointment, have done the appointment, rightly or wrongly. At this time, as citizens of our country, it behooves all of us to rally behind them, spiritually, morally, whatever we can do. Let us support this team. I believe that Otto Addo is on the verge of making history if he qualifies Ghana to the World Cup. He will be the first Black Stars player of this generation to qualify the team to the World Cup as a head coach. Okay. And I believe it will bring a lot of dignity, honor to him as an individual and his family. In whatever way we can, the media in particular, say good things about them, motivate and encourage them. Otto Addo should also operate as a man of his own. He should select players on the basis of demonstrable merit, so that, like the wife of Caesar, very little can be said about the people's qualification or competence or integrity, you know. But I believe that if we are united and rally behind this team, we are capable of qualifying. I don't share the view that we don't have players. I don't share that view. A national team is not a club side where you will go to South America to buy players to come and play for you. And Ghana is an acknowledged resource center for the development, renewable talent for football. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt at all about that. If we get the right players and motivate them, handled by this technical team, I have no doubt that we will qualify. And that project, qualifying to the World Cup, must be everybody's project. We must all rally behind the GFA to ensure that Ghana qualifies.
Okay. Still on issues relating to the Ghana Football Association, and its former chairman, Dr. Nyao Tamaklo, says he would have tendered in a resignation letter if he were the current president, Kurt Okreku. He made this comment on the back of alleged political interference from government on the country's football governing body.
I believe strongly that if a chairman, for one reason or the other, becomes a stumbling block as far as the AFA is concerned, the only thing he can do is to take his pen and leave. Now, I'll give you a classic example, which is happening now. Now, after our abysmal performance at the last AFCON, we've come back home. We are thinking about getting qualified to the next World Cup. Now, we don't have a coach, a substantive coach. We are now looking for a coach. And all we hear is that government itself has brought in a coach, and the FA itself went out looking for a coach. I can assure you, if I were to be the FA chairman then, or now, let me make it now, I'll take my pen and resign, especially when a committee has been put in place without the knowledge of the chairman of the FA or the president of the FA. It is only through this that we shall learn how to really govern ourselves and be disciplined.
And that was Dr. Nyao Tamaklo saying that if you were Kurt Okreku, he would have tendered in his resignation following reports of political interference in the activities of the Ghana Football Association. This is how we wrap up Joy News today. Sports on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila. Up next is World News.
Good afternoon, welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News today. Now, actress and musician Diamond Michelle Wagona, popularly known as Michi, says her ex-boyfriend Shatta Wale has greatly influenced her music career. She told Andy Dusty on Daybreak Hits that Shatta Wale discovered her singing prowess and molded her professionally when they were together. Go to pray, others go to enjoy praises and worship. However, for musician Michi, it's an opportunity to do business.
No, I go to church to do business.
In church?
Yeah, I sell jollof for. So where there are people, I see consumers of my food.
Right.
So if I come to your church and I offer you lunch, know that the next thing is, cooking buffet.
So so you go there. Oh, so it means you don't go there to listen to anything. You don't pay your tithe. You don't pay collection.
I pay tithe. Yeah, I'm a spiritual person, not religious. I pay tithe sometimes to a church, sometimes to people who actually need it. I pray a lot. Every gospel song makes me cry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have that connection with my God. I feel like my prayers are answered so fast from home.
Okay.
We're from Michi. Glitch Africa, an Afrobeat go-to creative space in Nigeria, has released Black Sherry's live rendition of his hit song. On that note, we end Showbiz here on Joy News today. My name is Becky. Over to you, Aisha.
And thank you very much, beautiful Becky. That's how we wrap up today, this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. You get updates of all the developing stories. Enjoy the rest of our programs.